welcome back to Rauta's Vinyl Monday. These Mondays haven't really been here the thing in 2023 for the given reason. There simply hasn't been any vinyl ones to be reviewed, and of course they were kind of out of the question when I was in Spain. Well, most of the time anyway. But now we have Vinyl Monday once again, and the band in question comes all the way from the 1990s. However, this band called Ymir, meaning the ice god in Viking traditions, well, something like that anyway, started doing their first full albums only as late as a couple of years ago. So whatever happened in the 90s wasn't really active until, well, 2020s. But now it's time for the second album, and this one comes with a rather nice looking cover, very Winter-like, if you will. I mean, the colors, everything here is beautifully describing what's going on. Aeons of Sorrow with some 3 figures on the cover, and these colors indeed, in my opinion, kind of emphasize the feeling that this is all about, the Nordic landscape mindset. And maybe this title here kind of describes this black metal release in style and atmosphere. Now, this one comes, of course, with lyrics, of course, I mean, not everything comes with those, but here it is. And the other side features the sole main member of the band. I say main member because obviously there's a live lineup and some other names are here mentioned as well, but the main man here is standing alone against the night sky in snow. So this is how it looks like. Fine quality by Werewolf Records, and then we have the actual main course. This is vinyl, good quality, pretty basic logo on the cover with the songs and all that stuff, information and Werewolf logo on the back. So pretty basic but good quality vinyl release. And obviously when I was reviewing this, listening to this for review, that is, I was indeed listening to the vinyl, not going for digital. So this review is solely based on this vinyl version we have here. Now on Metal Archive side you can pretty much get the basic information, found it in late 90s, and then there was a long pause until 2006 when Silver Howling, the second demo, came out. But like I said, 2020 was the release date for the debut album, self-titled one, and that was good. Unfortunately, Aeons of Sorrow is not as good as that, but the difference is rather small, so don't get, fearful, like, oh my goodness, that album was so good, how come this is not as good, and all that stuff. It's more about the details, I think, that divide these two from each other, and obviously, people have different opinions. Mine is just mine, but according to Rate Your Music site, RYM, actually it seems like the rating overall seems to be in favor of the first album, but that's how it is sometimes. So what is Aeons of Sorrow all about then? It's atmospheric black metal in the very, very 1990s way. If you have heard anything from the 90s, from the Nordic countries in general, but even so, more so from Finland, you pretty much know what to expect. It's kind of a haunting, it's somewhat melancholic, it's definitely atmospheric all the way down, and there are some keyboard layers that dominating, but definitely, filling the gaps. So while it's kind of a guitar driven, it's almost as much, atmospheric driven. Guitars are probably the lead instrument, if you will, but without synthesizers, without those keyboards, this wouldn't really be the same kind of a band. So it's not so much, guitar driven as some of the more, say, fast tempo and aggressive black metal acts, which are all about, going super metal with the kind of a songwriting. This is more about creating the atmosphere rather than just making catchy riffs and all that stuff. And I think that's part of the reason why it kind of also goes for the longer tracks. I mean, once you start building an atmosphere, it takes a little bit more time than just create those 3-minute Marduk kind of songs which are like in and out and then you just go away. And of course this is then again to divide people into different categories. I mean, those who are in favor of more atmospheric black metal might like Ymir even more than I do. Maybe I'm not the biggest fan of atmospheric black metal when it comes to more traditional raw end or aggressive kind of a stuff, but I mean, it's not like I dislike the genre or sub-genre in this case. I'm more like merely trying to point out that it depends which kind of black metal background you come from, whether or not you're gonna like this one or not. Now, those who favor indeed the kind of lengthier tracks and who just like when the things take their time to, build up the momentum, who are not that much about, catchy riffs or memorable melodies and all that stuff, are probably very, very much going to like this album because it's all about atmosphere. I keep saying that because I want to emphasize the very point that while this is all the way enjoyable, the riffs, the individual riffs and parts, not so much. Which means that whenever I was like done with the album, it's like trying to like which song would really stand out, and I couldn't name it. So I gave it another list and another list, and just waiting for that kind of a moment of clarity to just happen. Like, okay, this is the song, but this is not. This is very consistent, both good and bad. Bad in the sense that there are no real high peak moments when you're like, this is the song that defines the whole album, or this really stands out as like defining moment for the band. No, this is very much in the good. That there are no weak points either. So it's very consistent, very well balanced, very all around album. So basically what I'm trying to say here is if you like a song or two, you probably like the rest of the album as well. But the same train goes the other direction as well. If one or two tracks are not gonna make you like, I want to listen to more of it, it's not gonna happen. I mean, there is no magical moment when it kind of snaps and, becomes something, I don't know, more magical indeed. Now, production-wise, this is pretty basic standard of a thing. And I'm not saying that in a bad or nasty way. I'm more like saying this isn't fundamentally changing anything, not recreating anything like, wow, this is something superb. It's more like clinging to the 1990s fashion. And once again, this can be a good or bad thing, depends what generation you are or whatever your, I don't know, taste is for this kind of black metal or in general. So kind of a 1990s, not super clean, but still crispy and powerful enough to just support the music. And the same thing can be said about the vocals. They're more on the screamier than throaty, raspy side of things. But once again, this is a kind of a safe bet if you like atmospheric black metal to begin with. So I'm saying this is rather good, but if I had to pick the winner, I would say the first album is a tad bit better. But if you like that one, there is no reason why to check out this one. And if you really like this one, obviously you need to check out the first one. So that's pretty much of it. Ymir is out there. They have played their first gig at Steelfest 2023. So what are you waiting for? Check out the music. You will find links provided in the description box. And should you have questions or some opinions, let me know in the comment section and I will get back to you. Bye bye.